authority ringer 12716 Riverside Drive at
now through French
property PAC. Alarm covers entry door, incident 4829, 95 Roger, exactly.
Westbound Washington approaching Wellington 76 is primary. Vicinity 1X43 for backup. And supervisor, speaking of suspect, I think call. It's 2091 for pursuit Beverly and Rosemont, male Hispanic. Send a backup for unit supervisor on Rampart. West Boulevard continuing westbound on Washington. Roof Vineyard continuing westbound Washington. One is now. Last 33 to an additional unit. Approaching Rimpaw. One is a second in Crandall. Six in Normandy to California Hospital with the RA. Starting up with the Wilson Suicide 106 Ward Street on honor of telling a restaurant inside parking structure suspect is changing about white 20s wearing a black hooded sweatshirt, black jeans, black shoes. More comments go to 48, 45, and 36, 56. Heading into the northbound on La Brea, requesting a unit with Spike Street, La Brea and Venice. Both South Pickford and La Brea, requesting units Venice and La Brea. With Spike Strip. Vehicle northbound La Brea at St. Elmo. Officers requesting a Cooktown unit.
The unit is empty transported.
City has the one that's at the crime scene at the shooting landline and watch manager.
Approaching Venice. Overway the landline and watch commander. Correction, 12080 or any unit code 6. The crime scene, landline, the watch commander.
Results from very bizarre behavior like
Roger.
that. But, and then back in the car, and you see the spotlight overhead from LAPD's helicopter. So this is a very
Rescue ambulance 866 transported to
There's a
Cincinnati
similarity
Hospital.
with last night when that person, the driver, kept gesturing and motioning to police, driving slowly. Then, of course, he was doing donuts. But in this particular case, yeah, there are some
Freeway, Southside North
similarities
Broadway.
there.
On the overpass, subject to the mail wearing a gray hoodie, box towards on the overpass. Code 3 incident 48563411.
You know, this could backfire on you in a number of ways. What is he telling them? Get out of the way or come to get him? It's almost like he's gesturing. Oh, now he's bowling.
Look, almost like
Freeway and Main, because of maldeformation exit at the overpass bridge. Mail holding, mail wearing a black blue sweater with a yellow stripe, coming to jump. It's code 4599421.
No, like imagining that he has weapons in his hand. So just a taunting motion, and I mean LAPD has to be, they have to have an incredible amount of patience with this situation. And let's just widen out and let's see what they're doing in this instance right now. They're out. They've got weapons drawn. Now he's twirling about of the driver.
No, I'm gonna have to tell that one.
I mean, now I have to wonder if this
person
is,
Roger.
last night, as it turned out, we were dealing with someone that was having a mental health crisis, and it's fair to wonder if that's the situation here tonight as well.
Well, you would certainly say this person is not thinking clearly at this time or in their
County Code 30, Ringer 12811, South Figueroa with Cancel by Alarm Company, incident 4817.
But you just don't do something like this with police officers behind you trying to get you to yield, and of course.
And
you know, Desmond, when I say this, I mean, it just takes one wrong movement. You know, what if you jump out of that vehicle?
With like strips coming for 16?
And there's something shiny in your hand. You know, that could be a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And
a phone.
Again, because of what this suspect is wanted, a black cell phone or something.
Requesting spike strips, any unit to handle identify.
And you are, kind of holding that in maybe horizontally, and it's made to look like a gun. In a split second, you're putting the police in a very, very difficult situation. I have to wonder if they have the less than lethal at the ready, some of these units. We'll see next time if the suspect does that. We'll see if we can get a view of the officers, and if we see them holding
incident 4393567. Any harbor unit for calls identify.
Or less than lethal rounds. They may just need to have that employed. We haven't seen anything in this person's hands, but they are really, really testing the patience and the mettle of these officers with the kind of.
Southbound Rare from Venice requesting spike strips from Washington and Venice. Fire handling.
One of our friends on our social media, Desmond, made a comment that maybe this person is doing this because there is a language barrier. Making those hand gestures, but when you try to think of what this person was trying to say with throwing his hands as if he was bowling or throwing an object, if you will.
T31, are you requesting additional tow to the different location?
A gun, those kinds of movements. You wonder what is he trying to convey
at that location.
Right.
Roger.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine if there's a language barrier that would be the way that you would attempt to negotiate or give some kind of message to police.
6 on One-Way Street,
like his
800 block east.
Was a bit
License 4 Nora Frank.
Good view there last time.
Correction 4 Nora Edward King.
Looked like he was gritting his teeth and make
41, code 800 East 100 East Street, 4 Nora Edward King 437.
Facial expression, I guess, is the best way that I could say it. So we're still kind of in this neighborhood because we've been going so slow. I haven't really covered a lot of territory now. And, a lot of officers out here in the area, all over the place. We had this officer back here kind of getting up close to the bumper at one point. as if they were going to do a pit maneuver, but we're pretty confident that they're not going to do that. We'll just have to see if they decide to do some spike strips, or perhaps they can get a hold of family members. As you know, I'm referencing the pursuit that we had last night because it's just very fresh in my mind, and I'm just kind of seeing some similarities in the behavior, the way that this suspect is behaving. Hopefully, maybe LAPD can get a hold of someone else. They know who this person is with the registered owner.
Southwest 110, George 30,
with the want. So apparently they know who this person is. Perhaps they can get a hold of the family and try to find out what exactly is going on with this person.
You know, someone else mentioned that they could possibly do less than lethal, you know, projectiles at this person, but I guess you'd have to get close enough to do something like that. You know, we're thinking about when he got out of the car for, you know, a minute or two, and he's making those gestures. Do officers shoot at him
15 cancel instead of 4767 5825 will handle.
that could possibly, you know, render him still, so police could actually take him into custody or you know, get him without using lethal force. So.
12 place 1423 West, 12 place open 911 lane code 3 incident 485 RD 289 run previous how to identify.
But here we are now. It's almost as if this person is started to say out of gas. There he is again, doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it almost looks like making a machine gun motion with his hands, but we haven't actually seen anything in this person's hands.
Can you just stand by once we're still in pursuit?
Your question about less than lethal.
Back in the vehicle, eastbound Venice.
If they were going to do that, they would
Area requesting spike strip on Venice at Longwood or Venice and West.
Basically, incapacitate or stun this person in such a way that they won't be able to get back in the car, potentially really agitated, and then start driving like the suspect was last night, because you know that's the last thing
from St. Charles attempting to U-turn.
Like that.
Well, now he's getting closer to officers. Well, all right, we thought he was for a moment there.
131 Stratler Street.
Yeah, that's kind of been the MO the entire time with this pursuit.
Okay, well they're a little distance behind him there. You know, I thought they could have been closer.
Yeah, it might be kind of difficult to launch a beanbag round from that distance. I'm not entirely familiar about the velocities and trajectories of those beanbags, or what the distance needs to be for you to employ one of those.
As the pursuit passes Worcester Station to kind of block traffic behind the pursuit. Any unit in the station is able to come out and block traffic behind the pursuit.
They may just let this run as long as it goes. You know, it could reference another pursuit, the great marathon pursuit that ran more than 6 hours. That was an assault with a deadly weapon suspect, and we were talking about that for 6 hours. It ended in Ontario, didn't end until 1 a.m. We spent 3 entire tanks of fuel on that pursuit, and we're not able to get the ending because it ended so late at night. And,
yeah, I remember you going back actually to get fuel.
Suspect 90th west of Figueroa, 8 Tom Young Henry 813 Green Ford SUV.
It was a very difficult one to cover, and that one they did use spike strips on that one. But if folks recall that they watch a lot of these pursuits, even after the tire was off of the rims, the guy was still driving on the rims for about 10 miles at like 2 miles an hour, and that's why it lasted so long. So you just never know how these are going to end. Sometimes we have pursuits where they drive super crazy and then they suddenly give up. Other times they just kind of tootle along like this for a really long time, but typically, you know, they end the same way.
For 1 Camarillo Street, Hyundai sedan, license to Mary William Adams 622. Mary William Adams 622, left at the location of the engine running 5210-489-4 815-57.
They choose to do so. As you had mentioned, Desmond, this person doesn't seem to be a danger to anyone else on the road.
And somebody pointed a rifle.
Since we've been watching this pursuit, he gets out and makes these gestures with his hands and gets back in the vehicle. So far, we haven't seen him driving recklessly or getting close to other drivers, from what I can tell. And that's another reason why they could possibly, you know, not rush this. They don't have to.
If not, all frequencies continue to stand by. Re-engaging the pursuit for 709. There is a ADW victim at Boston and Washington. Suspect is armed with a handgun and a rifle. Area 18 location.
There looked like there was someone that maybe had a food stand set up, was kind of close to them, and those folks probably didn't really have any idea what was going on.
6 Dewey Avenue, 2-04905, ready 2056.
Police and the spotlight now as we make a turn here southbound.
To stand by.
Back towards the 10 freeway.
All right, so he's basically, well, there he is, he's stopping again. Same thing, Desmond.
No.
It's almost like he's telling officers to come to him. Yeah, keep stepping.
Yeah, it is. And
1230 advices.
Stepping away from the vehicle, quite a.
Requesting units behind him to stop traffic. Either regarding Wilshire Station, repeat.
Another one of the less than lethal means I know they have are these little pepper balls, these little kind of pepper pellets that they can spray. Okay, well now accelerating and going through a red light, so just like this now back eastbound on Venice, and just when this suspect was going so slowly, just kind of pulling a maneuver right there, cutting off a whole bunch of vehicles and headed back eastbound. There you see a motorcycle officer who's monitoring this.
5 Queen 12 clear.
As well, so let's see if the suspect is
correction, east of Wilshire Station from Venice.
Get a little bit more aggressive with this.
On Venice.
Well, he's making another turn.
Oh, no.
He crossed a
66.
Head on.
He's on the wrong side of the street.
On the wrong side of the road now. Yep, yeah, going eastbound in the westbound lanes of Venice.
Washington, the suspect pointed a handgun and a rifle at the victim.
Right here, but reversing, so we'll just stay here because it looks like just kind of doing a very,
4902.
very wacky and illegal way of doing a three-point turn. Okay. Okay, he's in front of the LAPD Wilshire station now, we understand. So, not sure if that was by design or what this suspect is doing, but now we're starting to see some extremely weird driving.
Or Area 18.
Kind of going in circles now, right in front of the Wilshire station.
705A Remit Avenue, 705A Remit Avenue. Families holding the subject down 19 years. 3-74914 RD 2146.
And now we are starting to see some speeds creep up here as we're eastbound on Venice Boulevard, kind of headed towards downtown Los Angeles.
All right. Well,
eastbound Venice from La Brea. All units, all frequencies continue to stand by.
Books 2 nights in a row. Now he's making a U-turn. Going back the other direction, and the reason I said 2 nights in a row because this is another weird driving, erratic behavior here. He's picking up speed, but at the same time, we haven't quite seen this happen before with a person just getting out of the car and motioning to police as this person has done.
You want 5
Is that the motorcycle officer in front of him? Well,
units of determination and be sure that you are code-sound equipped.
Motorcycle officer behind. I'm not sure why this officer is getting into the fray right now. It's not often that you see motorcycle officers pursuing vehicles. I mean, they'll pursue motorcycles, but it just puts them in such a dangerous situation. And with the way that this suspect has been acting, and again talking about assault with a deadly weapon, it's just kind of surprising to see that motorcycle officer getting so close out of the vehicle again. This is probably the 10th time that.
Let me say it. Choose 4th. Pressure Venice and Vineyard.
Very bizarre. Is this person under the influence? Are
over 1131 Scotland Street.
A mental health breakdown?
Eastbound Venice from Vineyard.
Exactly is going on, but now it just kind of seems to be hanging around the LAPD Wilshire station right here.
525 call.
And we saw the person last night. We figured he was taunting police. Well, he was taunting police, doing his donut turns and almost gesturing them to come get him.
4916
He finally gave up. He pulled up actually in front of his home. Isn't that right, Desmond?
Yeah, he ended up eventually driving to his home, and officers were there waiting for him, and they all swarmed him the second that he got out of his vehicle. Kind of surprised him there at his house. So they have to probably know where this person lives as well, and if that is the case,
Stadium
that
way in
is,
events.
another option for them if they want to, really think about public safety. Now, we're not seeing anything
Park Drive, Stadium Way, Legion Park
in
Drive.
the same universe as what we were seeing. Well, what we saw last night, I've never seen anything like
The
that.
Legion, code 3 answer 4918 and RD101.
Crazy U-turns and all that. But this person is beginning to drive a bit more erratically and still continuing those strange, violent motions. But, kind of been circling around this area. So we're right here, the Midtown crossing area at Venice and San Vicente. It certainly seems like it would be a good opportunity if they had an officer with some spike strips that they could, throw those out there if they wanted, but perhaps they don't want to put officers in harm's way.
All right, if you're just tuning in, this
West
is a
Venice
vehicle,
from
it's
San
not a
Vicente.
stolen vehicle.
703 is requesting a second set of spike
This person
strips.
was wanted for assault with a deadly weapon, and we're not exactly sure what that is, if it was a gun, a knife, or the vehicle itself, or some other kind of object. But Desmond has been overhead in the Mid-City area for the last 20 minutes or so, watching this driver just
The spike strip should be at Rampart or further west.
stopping
Closer to
from
La Brea.
time to time, getting out, making motions, almost like machine gun motions to police officers, and then getting back in the vehicle and pulling off again. Really no rhyme or reason here. He seems to be staying in the same area. Is that correct, Desmond? In Mid-City?
Yeah, definitely been staying in the same vicinity for
Rampart at the front of Ulster Station requesting spike strips at La Brea.
Pretty good look through the windshield. Still kind of dark, but pretty safe to say that
Group open 23rd Street, 300 plus partygoers at the location. Code 2 and 34925, RD308.
Motions at officers, so that should at least answer that question. But yeah, the last 10 minutes just kind of been circling around Venice Boulevard and coming up to kind of a weird intersection right now. I think we're coming up to, this is, still near San Vicente and Venice. So just circling around this area. They were actually asking if any units were there.
Figures just continue to stand by vehicles in the middle of the intersection of Venice and La Brea.
They need to make sure that those officers are aware of that, just because it was pulling right up to their station right there.
Two following to 11 suspect westbound from Grand. Requested backup area supervisor.
Along, getting out every 5 minutes or so, making strange motions. Officers.
Spike strips on La Brea, north or south side. Suspect is climbing into the rear of the vehicle. Units use caution.
It's right here on Venice Boulevard. Just trying to get as good of a look inside as I can when LAPD is shining their spotlight overhead, and we have our extra zoom kind of calibrated into the vehicle, trying to see anything, if they're making any kind of weird motions, holding something.
Suspect is in the vehicle in the back seat. Air unit is requesting 3 additional units. Venice and La Brea to stop southbound traffic, Venice and La Brea for northbound traffic, and a 3rd unit for eastbound traffic.
A crew of 2 inside of that helicopter. They have the pilot, obviously, and then
22 following a silver Honda Corridor Civic West Streetway Union 80743.
Controlling the spotlight, and then he's also calling out
the suspect vehicle. Suspect is back in the vehicle now in southbound La Brea from Venice.
Actually, my pilot Chris noted as well that the 2 front tires appear to be low. So I'm wondering if there was a spike strip employed maybe right before we got to the scene, or I didn't see any spike strips out there.
There's Wingate black hat, black sweater, and gray pants, tattoos on arms and hands. Code 4933, RD1503.
And guess what, Desmond?
They're retreating for 15 now with a gun. Rinaldi and the story on the north side of Rinaldi. Suspect male, white shirt, brown shorts. Suspect vehicle is a gold Honda van. Suspect waving a gun in the air. Code 2 incident 4936, RD1716.
Shoot it through the back windows, or
10 approaching 9th. L30 is requesting 4 additional units on the first.
Coming out and giving some choice words to officers again. Just a lot of taunting here. It's very rare that you see them get out of the vehicle and make these kind of motions. So many times we see suspects giving half a peace sign out of
South
his
Island,
sunroof, or if they're sticking their hands out the window. But here he is out of his vehicle and motioning like he has guns in his hands, and then throwing up, his arms like, what are you going to do about it? I'm just going over the body language here is extremely weird. And here's officers down here. And yeah, okay, so I mentioned the green rifle, and there it is. There's the less than lethal, and that's either going to be beanbags or pepper balls right there. So that is what they do have trained on the suspect.
Perfect.
And they're keeping their distance.
You know what makes this so unusual too?
Continuing to do his thing.
Yeah, and you said do his thing, and you're right, Desmond, because he spent this is a little bit of time here. It's not like he just jumps out and jumps right back in the car.
Explain up on the off ramp approaching out.
Closer.
And I'm wondering if they're just waiting for him to step just a couple of more feet away.
Restraining order violation, 916 Watson Avenue, 916 Watson Avenue, apartment 1, in the courtyard. Suspect
He is starting to kind of creep away.
is a male wearing a black and blue and white beanie, gray sweatshirt, code 3 incident 4942 or 529.
At the officers.
Oh, there he goes. He's
right now, and yeah,
back in the vehicle.
Yeah, and I mean this could go on for hours. I mean, who knows how long this person
back our two
wants to drag this out. But okay, there's another spike strip, so that answers that question. That they are willing to spike strip that they believe could be armed. Unfortunately, he saw that one coming, and just not the perfect deployment there. Was able to kind of swerve to the left and get out of the way.
You know what was interesting? So they were.
5812 domestic violence restraining order violation, 916 Watson Avenue, 916 Watson Avenue, code 3 incident 4942 or 529.
When he was taunting police officers, there were other officers behind him laying down that spike strip.
Go ahead and cancel that unit. Send me that call. I'm coming from 6th and Center. And can you take incident 4839 on my stack, please? We're going to be unable to handle.
And try to give a bit of a surprise for the suspect while he was out hooting and hollering at LAPD. And now we're hearing that
code 1040 if the suspect exits the vehicle again.
With a foam bullet, so not a
Traffic unit, runaway juvenile investigation 11415 and a half Link Street. Subject, female Hispanic, 16 years, due of 8/20/2005. Hair dyed red, black eyes, unknown height, 125 pounds. Left in yesterday's date from location at approximately 1900 hours. Wearing a black shirt and light blue shorts. Code 2 incident, correction 4940 and 1860.
Just enough to
on Adams, westbound on Hoover.
Try to kind of. Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
Okay, Desmond, yeah, we're going to have to sign off here on CBS2, but we will continue to follow this pursuit on KCAL 9 and streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. The Late Show's next.
Suspect is male black, brown over brown, 6'2", 200, date of birth 2/17/1982. Last seen wearing an unknown colored, possibly wearing an unknown color hooded sweatshirt. Suspect owns a firearm, weapon is still outstanding. Incident 4824.
415 man with a night. 88th place in rain. It's between Main and San Pedro. This is a male unknown wearing a black fit sweatshirt on a scooter with a possible knife. Last seen inside his headed sweatshirt. It's code 2 incident 4952 RD 1802.
All right, we have breaking news on KCAL 9. We've been following a
units code 41207 more Park Street.
slow speed pursuit of a driver who was wanted.
Battery suspect 2391 Ross Moore Road. Suspect is male white, 18, blonde hair, blue eyes, 5'6", wearing a green shirt, light colored shorts, code 2 incident 495 and 3805. No 70 will respond.
For assault with a deadly weapon. This started in the mid-city area, and we've been watching this driver for at least the last half hour. He's been driving stopping the vehicle. It's a Mercedes, and I'm going to let Desmond Shaw explain what it is in a moment, but he's getting out of the vehicle. He makes...
Jefferson and Normandy from Central occurrence. Crenshaw.
Drive on the rims for several times. We've seen that quite a few times, but this is an assault with a deadly weapon suspect, a Mercedes C-Class here. It's been kind of around the same area, Mid-City, LA. It's been LAPD's Olympic division that has been in pursuit. We were on Venice Boulevard for a really long time. We're eastbound right now on Washington, so very close to the 10 freeway. They have their spotlight over the head. We'll just wind
up vehicle tracking Jefferson and Catalina.
The units they have in this pursuit. And this one has been such a slow one that they're probably just going to continue to go with it until the suspect decides to go up, or decides to give up or run out of gas, or hopefully they can disable the vehicle somehow, Pat.
Yep, and we
mentioned eastbound Alhambra 2 minutes ago, and a blue Datsun with a personal license.
One was successful for sure.
Yeah, we believe that one was successful
really
because
consider what's going on when they approach this vehicle, even when it comes to
a little low. And that is the whole idea with the spike strippers, that it doesn't just rip
closer to this car than
Hello, 9012, clean 22 in the mountain station.
The kind of pursuit behavior
go inside the tire and slowly deflate the tire so that it doesn't put the suspect in any danger.
Older model Toyota Camry, license plate 14 Adam King, 14 Adam King, 512, code 10961.
The asphalt, and hopefully will inspire them to stop, but not always the case. But we're creeping towards downtown Los Angeles. They have less than lethal
block the freeway entrance.
Well, they already discharged at least one foam pellet from one of those green guns that we saw earlier with the officer when he was outside of the vehicle.
Southwest Unit 211 secured Crenshaw 29 with the Bank of America ATM. Suspect's vehicle is a black sedan over the description last seen northbound from location. Suspects were 2 male black, number 1 gray sweater, number 2 black sweater. Weapon used as a handgun. Property taken was used. Currency is code 2 incident 4960 or D333.
Mercedes here with his
It is now east on Washington from 3rd requesting